two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array is an array in which each element is accessed using two subscripts or indices. Okay, how many subscripts we need? Two subscripts or two indices we require to access an element of a two-dimensional array. That subscripts are known as row index and column index. This two-dimension is nothing but it is a matrix. That is, the elements are stored as rows and columns. Then say the declaration of the two-dimensional array. This is the syntax for the declaration of a two-dimensional array. Data type, then array name, row size and column size. We should have to specify row size and column size. For example, int A23. It is a 2 by 3 matrix. Okay, it is a 2 by 3 matrix. Means it can store 2 into 3 elements. Means this A23 can store how many elements? 6. We can store 6 elements in this matrix. The name is A, data type is int. It can store 6 elements. Then see here, it's a declaration int A23. The subscript is starting from 0. This is the 0th row, 0th column. This is the column. How many rows are there? 2 rows. This is the 0th row. Then this is the 1st row. That is, how many rows are there? 2 rows are there. How many columns are there? 3 columns. This is the 0th column, 1st column, 2nd column. Okay. Then see this first element, that is this element is represented as, first we have to specify the row number, then column number. First it is row, then column. That is A00, then A01. See this 0. First this 0, then the corresponding column. That is the first one. A00, A01. This one is A02. Then the column number 1. So the row will be 1. This A10, 11, 12. Okay, this is the representation of a matrix. A00, 01, 02, 10, 11, 12. Next, initialization of two-dimensional array. What's the meaning of initialization? Initialization means we can give the initial value at the time of declaration. We can give the values to this matrix at the time of declaration. That is called initialization of a two-dimensional array. Syntax for the initialization of a two-dimensional array is data type, array name, row size, column size is equal to list of values. See, for example, int A23 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then A23, how many elements we can store? Maximum 6 elements we can store. The elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can say the representation. See, first it will store A00. Which number will be A00? First one. A00 will be 1. Next element, that is the first row first. A00. Next A01. A02. 1, 2, 3. That is the first row. Next second row. A10, 11, 12. So the matrix will be 1, 2, 3. First row will be 1, 2, 3. Next row will be 4, 5, 6. We can consider one program. Program to read and print the elements of a two-dimensional array. For reading and printing, for two-dimensional array, how many subscripts we require? In two-dimensional array, we need two subscripts. That is why, see here, when you are declaring the two-dimensional array, say this is a A55 means maximum we can store 5 rows and 5 columns. Then here the iteration variables are I and J are the iteration variable. M is the row size, N is the column size. Then enter the row size and column size, that is M and N. Then how to enter the elements of this matrix. For entering the elements of this matrix, we need two for loop. One we need to indicate for row and the second it is for column. Say for I is equal to 0, I less than M. M is the row size. Next for J is equal to 0, J less than N, J plus plus. This J for loop, J is for the column, I is for the row. Okay. Then C in Aij. Then we can consider how to read these elements. I will show this. See, this is a A23. 2 maximum 2 rows and 3 columns. It is a 2 by 3 matrix. That is 2 rows and 2 columns. Suppose this is the matrix. First row is 10, 20, 30. That is the first row. Next row is 40, 50, 60. That is first we need to read 10, 20, 30. Then 40, 50, 60. Then how to read this one? The for loop representation is this one. For I is equal to 0, I less than 2, I plus plus. For j is equal to 0, j less than 3, j plus plus. When you are writing two for loop, first it will execute the inner for loop. After completing the inner for loop, it will start the outer for loop. For example, see here, value of I is equal to 0. After that, it will start the inner for loop j. That is, j is starting from 0 to less than 3. Means 0 to 2. 0, first value of I is equal to 0. Then the inner for loop. That is, j is equal to 0, 1, 2. Means first C in Aij means A00, A01, A02. That is the first row. Next, the value of I increment. Then the value of I will become 1. Then again it will start the inner for loop. Then again j is equal to 0, j is equal to 1, j is equal to 2. Means I 1 0. That is 40. Next 1 1. That is 50. Next 1 2. That is 60. Okay. First it will execute. It will start from this for loop I. Then the inner for loop will complete. Then it will increment the value of iteration variable of the outer for loop. Next, and the elements of the array. How to print the elements. Instead of C in, we can write the C out. So for that also we need two for loops. For I is equal to 0, I less than, it's M. First one M, next one N. I less than M, I plus plus, j equal to 0, j less than N, j plus plus, C out, Aij. In this space and endl, it is using to print in the order of a matrix, in the form of matrix. Okay, that is for representing a two-dimensional array, we need two subscripts. For accessing the element of an array, we need two subscripts. That is why here C in Aij. I represent the row index and j represent the column index. We need to specify row size and column size, and when you are reading you have to specify row index and column index. Like that we need two for loop for reading the matrix.